Yeah, dear friends, thank you for coming to my biology YouTube channel. I'm still your teacher, Charles Batenwari in Uganda. Today we are going to look at some other interesting topic, and that is a small subtopic which is about regulation of blood glucose. First of all, I would like to ask you: do you know the normal glucose level in your body? In your body, on average, the normal glucose level is supposed to be 90 milligrams per 100 centimeter cubed of blood. This one is supposed to be the normal one. So it means if I come and I get your blood, and I get your blood which is a total of a volume of 100 centimeters cubed, then I should be able to find there an amount of glucose which is 90 on average, 90 milligrams of that glucose. So that's why we need to regulate. That's the normal glucose level. Another question is, why do we need to regulate? Because I'm talking about regulation of blood glucose. Why do we need to regulate blood glucose? We need to regulate blood glucose because so the question is why regulate glucose? Yeah, so we need to regulate glucose because of two reasons. One, if glucose level is low, if it's low, there will be there will be less energy. You know very well that it is glucose, which is the first substrate, is broken down during respiration. So it is broken down during respiration to provide energy. It means once the glucose level is far much below 90 milligrams, then your body may not be having enough of the substrate, enough of that glucose to break down to give you energy for enabling different metabolic processes in your body to proceed. So that's why we need to ensure that it is not very far from this, so that our metabolic process can go on normally, because we shall be having enough energy, which energy is gotten from that glucose. So we need to regulate, because if it is less, then we shall have less energy in our body, which will not enable our metabolic process to continue normally. Then number two is on the other side. What about if it is high, or if it is above? If above the normal. If it is above the normal, it is likely to cause us dehydration. How? Because the moment your blood gets excess of these glucose molecules, it's likely to cause what we call osmotic inflow or osmotic outflow of water. Osmotic outflow of water from the cells into the blood or into the tissue fluid, as a way of diluting this too much glucose levels which have which are available. Let me show you a small illustration. If I have, assuming this is my blood vessel like this, and I have got this blood vessel, I've got blood, and this blood, of course, I've got my blood cells there. I also have other cells, adjacent other cells next here. And then now imagine that in this blood vessel, I have got a lot of glucose. So I have got excess glucose here. Glucose is too much. And even also here in the tissue fluid, I also have a lot of glucose in the tissue fluid here. So what is going to happen is that because glucose has become too much outside the cells, or within even the blood capillary, these cells will tend to lose water by osmosis, so that water can come and dilute the excess glucose. So that will be by osmosis. These cells are going to end up losing some of their waters, so that this water can come and dilute the excess glucose within. And of course, that water is subsequently lost in urine and other means. So that one is likely to make you dehydrated, because your cells are constantly losing water because glucose has become too much in your body. So we need to regulate so that we can avoid that abnormality of glucose being too much in our bodies, which is likely to cause us to become dehydrated, because the body cells are losing water by osmosis to dilute the excess glucose which is within the body. So those are the two reasons. So after we have understood why we need to regulate glucose. After you have understood the normal glucose level, why we need to regulate glucose. So we now go to how is it regulated? How is it regulated? So now we now go directly to now, and we now go to seeing how this glucose is regulated within the body. As far as regulation of glucose is concerned, we have got a key part of the body, and that key part of the body is none other than the pancreas. So, pancreas is the major organ. This is the major organ as far as regulation of glucose is concerned. Now, this glucose, this pancreas, is special in such a way that it has got what we call glucose receptor cells. So, within this pancreas, we have got what we call, so this one has got what we call glucose receptor cells. And it has also got what we call endocrine cells. Endocrine cells. Yes, so within this pancreas, say, for those who don't know the pancreas, if you remember the digestive system, you have got something like this. You have got something like that. This is the stomach. At the stomach, you come to the duodenum, but on the duodenum here, we have got an attachment there like that. We have got a small attachment there. So this is now the pancreas here. We have got an attachment there. We have something like that. Yeah, so the pancreas, meaning is this part here. So we are saying this pancreas has got what we call glucose receptor cells and endocrine cells. Glucose receptor cells in such a way that these cells can be able to detect the glucose, that glucose has gone either above or it has gone below. So the movement or the deviation of glucose from 90, either up or low or below, is the stimulus that will stimulate these glucose receptor cells within the pancreas. And then endocrine cells, when you talk about endocrine cells, it means these cells are going to secrete hormones, but these hormones are going to be secreted directly into blood. That's why we call them endocrine, because they secrete hormones directly into blood. So these endocrine cells are found in a special group of cells. So these endocrine cells are in a group. I'm going to call it a tissue, and that tissue within the pancreas, where we have these endocrine cells, that tissue is none other than a tissue called the isolates of Langerhans. So that tissue is called the isolates of Langerhans. Isolates of Langerhans. So that is a group of cells which are endocrine in nature. So it is these isolates, so it is these cells within the isolates of Langerhans that are going to be very key as far as regulation of glucose is concerned. So we have got a pancreas, so a pancreas is key, or is a very key organ. However, the pancreas does not work alone. It also works along with another organ, and this organ we have got the liver. We have got the liver as also another key important organ as far as regulation of glucose. And also, by the way, we also have what we call muscles, or muscle cells in the muscles. Then plus all other body cells, not only this one, but we are just pointing out a few. These are the major ones, but also other body cells are also very key. So how does the pancreas with its glucose receptor cells and endocrine cells, how does it bring about regulation of glucose? That's what we are going to look at next. So come with me here. So I have got a pancreas. So I have got the pancreas here, and I've said in this pancreas I have got a tissue, a group of cells we have called the isolates of Langerhans. The isolates of Langerhans. This is a group of cells which are found in the pancreas, and we are saying that in this structure, within this part we are calling the isolates of Langerhans, we have got what we call endocrine. They are what we call endocrine cells. So the question is that what are these endocrine cells? So these endocrine cells, which are found within this tissue or within the isolates of Langerhans of the pancreas, are of two categories. The first category being The first category being what we call beta cells, and then the other category being alpha. Sorry. The other category we have what we call alpha cells. Yeah, so those are the two categories of the endocrine cells we have in the pancreas. Now, since they are called endocrine cells, it means we are saying endocrine, it means they produce hormones directly into blood. So which hormone is produced by beta cells, which hormone is produced by alpha cells? Some of you could be already aware. The hormone which is produced by the beta cells is none other than a hormone we call insulin. So the beta cells secrete insulin, but for the case of the alpha cells, these alpha cells secrete a hormone we call glucagon. Yeah, I've had some students calling it glycogen. No, the hormone is called glucagon. So beta cells secrete insulin, and we are saying this one secrete insulin into blood. Yeah, likewise, even these ones, we are saying even these ones, they secrete glucagon into blood directly into blood. So we are saying these ones secrete insulin into blood. So it is these hormones which are very important as far as regulation of glucose is concerned. How? Now, we have got two alternatives. We have said we have got a situation where the glucose level is above 90 milligrams, and we have got a situation where glucose level is below the 90 milligrams. So our question is, which hormone is produced during which condition? So of these two, the beta cells are stimulated, or the beta cells secrete insulin when the glucose level, when glucose is above the normal. So these beta cells are stimulated to secrete insulin when glucose level is above the normal. So it implies that on the other side, the alpha cells of the isolates of Langerhans of the pancreas are stimulated when glucose is below the normal. So it means when glucose is below the normal, it is now there. It is when the alpha cells of the isolates of Langerhans of the pancreas are stimulated. Now let us look at one by one. Let us go one by one. So if I may put a small division here like this. So we are going to say, let us begin from this side. So we are going to say that when glucose level is above the normal, the beta cells of isolates of Langerhans of the pancreas are stimulated. In other words, it means this stimulus of glucose, of this glucose being above the normal, that situation stimulates. So when glucose level is above the normal in blood, it stimulates the beta cells of isolates of Langerhans of the pancreas to secrete a hormone which is called insulin, and this hormone is secreted directly into blood. So when it is secreted into blood, this blood takes it. So after it has been secreted into blood, we are saying the insulin moves in blood, and it is taken into for example, into the liver. But of course, apart from the liver, we also have other parts like muscles, among others. But majorly we are going to measure on our liver, on the liver here. So it moves into blood and it goes into the liver. So what we are saying now, after it has reached the liver and all these other parts, what does it do? So on reaching the liver, the insulin, after reaching in those areas, stimulates the following. The liver stimulates the following. So after it has reached into these parts of the body, what does it do? One of the effects it does is that the insulin stimulates an increase in the rate of respiration. The rate of respiration. Remember, our glucose level is above the normal. So since it's above the normal, our major aim here is that we want to reduce it so it can come back to normal. So what is going to happen is that once this hormone has been released, it is going to cause respiration to increase. Remember, respiration involves the breakdown of glucose. So the more the rate of respiration increases, is the more the glucose which is now excess in the body is going to be broken down so that it reduces and it comes back to normal. Then number two, apart from that, is that this insulin is also going to stimulate the conversion of the excess glucose to glycogen. Also, the body is very wise by the way. So when it has excess, it converts the excess into it stores the excess. So when glucose levels are also too much in the body is also wise. How? This insulin you are saying will convert the excess glucose into glycogen, and this glycogen is going to be stored within the liver cells. So the glycogen is in other words a storage form of food or storage form of glucose within the bodies of animals. So when glucose is excess, it is stored into glycogen, and this process where glucose is converted into glycogen, that process we call it glycogenesis. We are forming glycogen, so we call it glycogenesis. Then apart from that, in case glucose is still too much, it does not only stop. This one does not only stop on this. It will further stimulate the conversion of the excess glucose to fats. So it means if you eat a lot of glucose, if you eat a lot of sugary things, you are likely to become fat. Why? Because whenever you have excess of those sugars of the glucose, some of them are stored into fats. These fats are stored in different parts of the body, like near the major organs, around the belly, and so on. So that is also one of the ways. Then another one, still in case we still have an excess of glucose, the excess glucose of the insulin again stimulates the conversion. Let me leave the conversion. It will stimulate an increase in the uptake of glucose by the cells. Yes, remember we are saying glucose is too much in blood. So when glucose is too much in blood, one of the effects of insulin is that this insulin is going to cause these cells. It's going to cause these cells to quickly take it up. So the cells will take up the glucose very fast. And in that way, when all these ones happen, that will happen is that the glucose which was above the normal will now reduce and come back to normal. So it means now, I can see if you have been following me very well, you can easily now tell what is going to happen this side. So it means on this side, what is going to happen is that when glucose is below the normal, it will stimulate. That is going to act as a stimulus. So it is going to stimulate the alpha cells of what? Of isolates of Langerhans. Of what? Of the pancreas. Do what? To secrete which hormone? Glucagon. Into where? Into blood. So what does what will blood do? The blood will transport. So this glucagon is going to move in blood. So the glucagon will move in blood, and it goes into the liver and other parts such as what? Muscles. When it reaches there, what does it do? So it means after the glucose has reached after the glucagon has reached the liver, so the glucagon, let me use this one. So the glucagon hormone stimulates the following. So now you can easily tell with me. Of course, this glucagon and insulin, their effects are antagonistic, one opposes the other. So what happens is that you can now easily tell me. So it means since the glucose is now below, our major aim is we need to what? We need to increase it. We need to make it, we need to make sure it kind of increases back to normal. So what is going to happen is that once glucagon has reached into the liver and other parts of the body, what we'll do is that this glucagon is going to, number one, so here we said increase in the rate, so it's going to decrease the rate of respiration. So it means the rate at which respiration was taking place in different cells of the body will decrease so that less of the glucose is what? Is broken down. So that is number one. So once we reduce the respiration, it means the rate at which the glucose was being broken down will kind of decrease. And once it decreases, it means glucose will slowly by slowly start increasing, remaining in blood and coming back to normal. Then number two, we have said here we have conversion of excess glucose to glycogen. Remember, this was our store. So it means now since the body has now less, so the other store will now be utilized. So in this case, glucagon will stimulate. So it means glucagon will stimulate, Then we will go with me, it means it will stimulate what? It will stimulate the conversion of glycogen. The other one which was our store. This one which was a stored form. So it will stimulate, the glucagon will stimulate the conversion of the glycogen which was stored back to glucose. So the other one which was stored will now be converted back to glucose. And this situation where glycogen is being converted back to glucose, for that one we call it glycogenolysis. Glycogenolysis. Lysis means breakdown. So it means glycogen is being broken down. So when it is broken down, it gives back to glucose. It forms again glucose. Then number next is we have said that we can also have, here we said glucose is converted into fats. But if we have less, if glucose is now below, the other glucose which was turned into fats, now this glucagon is going to stimulate the conversion of the fats, and by the way, sometimes even proteins, back to glucose. So it means when you are under starvation, for example, you have taken time, maybe you are fasting or you are starving. So what happens is that the glucose, the fats which you had accumulated in your body, the proteins which were also present in your body are going to be converted back to glucose. They are going to be broken down to ensure that glucose comes back to normal. And this process where glucose is being formed, but from substances which are non-carbohydrate. This situation where glucose is being formed from non-carbohydrate forms, or substrates, we call that process we call that process gluconeogenesis. So gluconeogenesis, we are forming glucose, but from non-carbohydrate. Fats and the proteins are non-carbohydrate substances. So the formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate substances, we call it gluconeogenesis. And of course now you cannot tell me what will be happening next. Another thing it means it will be that this glucagon will also decrease the uptake of glucose by the cells. So this glucagon will also ensure that the rate at which glucose is taking up is absorbing or is uptaking glucose. That's what reduces, so that we can at least have some of it remaining, and therefore that one enabling the glucose to increase back to normal. So when all these ones happen, you see everywhere we are forming glucose. When all these ones happen, that one we enable the glucose which had become very low below the normal to increase back to normal. And in that way, it will have enabled the body to regulate the glucose so that your body can ensure your body metabolism can go on without any interruption. So that's how the body is able to regulate glucose. So for now, I'm going to stop here. But in the next episode that you need to check out, we shall be looking at what happens if the body refuses, does not regulate glucose. What happens? So that's where we are going to look at things like diabetes and so on. So that will be in the next video. So make sure you check it out. So that is it concerning regulation of glucose. I am sure that you have learned something. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're watching me for the very first time. And you can also check for other videos and also look through them. They are also there on other episodes on homeostasis. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.